So, welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and this is where characters gather. And as promised in my weekly wrap-up this week, was it this week? No. I think it was in my Catholic fiction. Like I was saying before the mailman interrupted, I think I talked about this in my Catholic fiction blog, that this was a new ongoing series, and every once in a while I'm just going to pull 10, 15 books from my Kindle that are of interest to me and I have forgotten about, and I was interested enough at one point to purchase them, but I have since forgotten about them. So, today we are going to get a mix. They are all kinds of genres. Some of them are now available on Kindle Unlimited, which wasn't a thing when I purchased some of them. Some of them are undoubtedly from a Stuff Your Kindle day. I am good with the mix here. So, without further anticipation, let's dive right in. First up would be A World of Difference by Paloma and Aínsa. And according to Amazon, I purchased this on the 23rd of November of last year, or the 1st of November last year. And I will read you the blurb. Mate's going through a rough patch. The unmentionable and the recession forced her to move back in with her parents at the tender age of 35. And every day she wakes up to the "Take That" posters from her teens. To ride out the storm, Mate accepts an au pair job at La Pillarica. I murdered that. An elitist residential area near her hometown, bastion of the surviving Spanish aristocrats and estate owners. Mate, born and raised in a humble family, has her reservations. She isn't used to navigating an opulent environment and doesn't even have experience in the job, but two difficult kids, a peculiar neighbor, the shadow of a mother, and a tormented man will teach her that people aren't always what they appear to be, and that sometimes it is necessary to hit rock bottom to get a fresh start. I love the cover of this. It is just, there's something about that cover that just screams to me to read me. This is only 353 pages, and it comes up in romantic comedy and contemporary comedy. So, contemporary romance. So, all things I like. The author was born in Spain. So, I am looking forward to this commentary on Spanish life. Okay. Next book is, I love this cover, Autumn in Sycamore Park. It is the first book in the Warm Days of Autumn series. I purchased this on the 27th of November last year and probably forgot about it. It is by C.P. Ward. And it is a whopping 272 pages. There are currently 5 books in the series. I have never read anything by this author, but that cover, the cover screams fall. And this says it is, wait for it, a rom-com. And I believe the comments said this was a sweet and clean. No offensive language or characters, so I don't know. We shall see. I will read you the blurb. The first in a new romantic comedy from C.P. Ward, author of Christmas at Marshmallow Cafe and Summer at Blue Sands Cove. Having fled a relationship in a previous life she would rather forget, young teacher Jennifer Stevens throws herself into a demanding new job at Brentwell Primary, charged with marshalling a group of unruly 8-year-olds to the Autumn Harvest Festival. Her only solace is the peace of nearby Sycamore Park. As the evenings draw in and the leaves begin to fall, will new friends, delicious autumn treats, and a possible new man on the orange-tinted horizon help Jennifer finally come to terms with her past and begin to look forward to the future? Yeah. This is a short and sweet one, and it should be easy to weave into my fall reading. The weather's okay. The leaves are beginning to change here. When they do, I will probably pick this one up. It is a good reminder for me that sometimes I do have seasonal books just hanging out on my Kindle unread. Next up is Murder by Numbers, a small town romantic mystery. It is the first in the Lemon Tree Bay mystery series. It is a whopping 256 pages. So on the short side for me. And these are available on Kindle Unlimited. So I will read you the blurb. This is one murder that doesn't add up. Following a spectacular business failure, Clara Mitchell returns to her coastal hometown, Lemon Tree Bay, with an inglorious thud. Living with her mom and working at a hair salon, she's determined to repay her debts and get back to glamorous city living. When she meets a poker-faced accountant, Lucas Pepper, sparks fly, however. Their blossoming romance slips into the red as he becomes the prime suspect in the murder of his uncle. Convinced of Lucas's innocence, Clara locks horns with her ex-boyfriend, local bad boy turned police officer, Senior Constable Adam Billings. He's desperate to prove Lucas guilty and to protect Clara at all costs. With evidence threatening to sink Lucas, Clara must unravel the mystery using a trusty grapevine of local gossip and her somewhat unreliable intuition. Will she save Lucas from mounting charges in time, or was Adam right all along? It sounds intriguing. I'm probably not going to be a huge fan of the short length, but I own it. I at least need to pick it up and try it out and see what it is. Next up is The Shoes of the Fisherman by Morris West. This is the first book in the Vatican trilogy. I purchased this on July 11th of last year. This is definitely Catholic fiction, in case the cover didn't give that away. I will read you the blurb. The Pope is dead, and the corridors of the Vatican hum with intrigue as cardinals gather to elect his successor. The result is a surprise. The new Pope is the youngest of them all, a bearded Ukrainian. The Shoes of the Fisherman is a moving story of Kirill I, recently released from 17 years in Siberian labor camps, haunted by his past. Not only is he the leader of a fractured Catholic Church, but he also finds he must confront his inquisitor and tormentor in order to avoid yet another world war. I am definitely reading this probably early next year. It is 462 pages. I have not read anything by this author. There are 2 other books in this series. He has other books as well, unrelated to the series. So, yes, Tammy is going to be all over this. And I will let you know. Next up is Sisters by Kellie Coates Gilbert. It is the first book in the Sun Valley series. I purchased this on the 14th of April, 2020. I do know that I have started this book, soft DNF'd it, but given when I was reading it and all that was going on in our lives and in the world at the time, I don't know how valid that DNF was. So I'm going to try again. I will read you the blurb. Set in America's original ski resort, Sun Valley, Idaho, Sisters offers a thought-provoking look at three women and the choices they make when they realize their lives aren't exactly what they expected. Karen McAdam is starting over after losing her husband to a skiing accident. A chance encounter with a backcountry pilot might be this young widow's one shot at a new beginning, but only if she can let go of the past. Leanne Blackburn is the perfect wife, until her husband grows more distant and she believes the worst. An outrageous plan to save her marriage turns the situation on its head, and she soon learns not everything is as it seems. Joy Abbott, who always finds a way to mess up her life, has done it yet again. This time, a bitter betrayal threatens to expose a heartache she desperately wants to keep secret, especially from her family. Through romance and heartbreak, laughter and tears, life is always better with your sisters at your side. So this is 330 pages. It would be the first book for me by this author. There are currently 4 books in the series. So we shall see. I do not know, but we shall see. Next up is another book I published April 7th of 2020 and then promptly forgot about. This is Murder in the South of France by, who is this by? Susan Kiernan Lewis. It is the first book in the Maggie Newberry mystery series. It is 432 pages and yeah. I love this cover, so I will read you the blurb. What happens when the magic of the south of France collides with romance and murder? When Maggie Newberry's sister is murdered on the French Riviera, Maggie flies to the south of France to bring home her body. When she arrives in France, she makes the shocking discovery that her sister had a child no one in the family knew about, and finds a mystery that is much bigger and more insidious than one dead American. As Maggie digs deeper for the answers to what really happened to her sister, she runs up against a danger that not only threatens her own life, excuse me, and that of the child, even the lives of her family back home in the States. Okay, I have a tickle in my throat, so I'm going to be drinking coffee when I finish reading this. This book is a clean read, no graphic violence, sex, or strong language. It says it is a light culinary mystery. I am intrigued. I love the cover. I love the fact that this is not a short little blurb. I hope I love this because there is just something very appealing about this book. So I will let you know. Okay, next book hidden on my Kindle is A Family Affair by Mary Campisi. This is the first book in the Truth in Lies series. There are currently 24 books in this series. 24 books in this series. Okay. Another April 7th, 2020 purchase. It's 270 pages. And if I remember correctly, Mary Campisi writes Hallmark movies? That's what my brain is telling me. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'll read you the blurb. Real families aren't always the ones you know about. A family affair is where it all began. Heartache, betrayal, forgiveness, redemption, all wrapped up in the people you will love to love and those you will love to hate. When Christine Blackworth's larger-than-life father is killed on an icy road in Magdalena, New York, 100 miles from the getaway cabin he visited every month, she discovers a secret that threatens everything she's always held to be true. Her father has another family, which includes a mistress and a daughter. Determined to uncover the truth behind her father's secret life, Christine heads to Magdalena, prepared to hate the people who have caused her to question everything she thought she knew about her father. But what she finds is a woman who understands her, a half-sister who cherishes her, a man who could love her if she will let him. The longer she's around them, the more she questions which family is the real one. Attention book clubs. A family affair is filled with moral ambiguity, difficult choices, and second chances. So, that is a lot of books. That is a lot of books. So we shall see. It has definite winter vibes on that cover. Maybe a January or February read. Doesn't sound like it's a good, Christmas read, so we shall see. Next up, hidden on my Kindle. This was purchased on the 19th of April in 2014. 2014, we were living in Arizona. That's how old this book is. This is the first book in the Color of Heaven series, and there are currently 13 books in this series. This book is 306 pages. A deeply emotional tale about Sophie Duncan, a successful columnist whose world falls apart after her daughter's unexpected illness and her husband's shocking affair. When it seems nothing else could possibly go wrong, her car skids off an icy road and plunges into a frozen lake. There, in the cold, dark depths of the water, a profound and extraordinary experience unlocks the surprising secrets from Sophie's past and teaches her what it means to truly live and love. Full of surprising twists and turns and a near-death experience that will leave you breathless, the story is not to be missed. It's also currently available on Kindle Unlimited. I know why I picked it up. I love the cover of this book. I don't know how it is sat on my Kindle unread for more than a decade now. So that's concerning. That's this video. Okay, next up. This too was purchased April 19th of 2014 and promptly got lost on my Kindle. That is Friendship and Folly, the Merrywell Chronicles book. It is the first of a trilogy. It is by Meredith Allady, and it is 336 pages. It has a very interesting and odd blurb. It starts off with a quiz. I'm not going to read you the questions. I will try to remember to link this blurb from Amazon in the description box down below so you can go take the quiz yourself. I'll read you the blurb for the description, however. The year was 1805. The place, England. Napoleon was scheming how to wrest control of the Channel from the British Navy so that he might at last invade the island nation of shopkeepers that kept interfering with his plans to dominate all of Europe. Lord Nelson was chasing the Emperor's fleet across the oceans in a hunt that would shortly culminate in the Battle of Trafalgar. But on a quiet estate in Warwickshire, just near enough to Stratford to take a proprietary interest in its immortal bard, Anne Northcott was much more concerned with her mother's schemes. Those schemes would send Anne and her friend Julia Parry far away from their beloved Merryweather on a turbulent voyage into a fashionable London season. For both of them, it would prove to be a journey of discovery into the true nature of friendship and folly. This is 336 pages. The trilogy is available on Kindle Unlimited now. It obviously sounded up my alley in 2014. It still sounds up my alley today. And now that I know that it's sitting there on my Kindle somehow, I will make it a point to uncover it and read it. Next up, again, another April 19th, 2014 purchase. Who Killed My Boss? The first in the Sam Darling mystery series. There are currently 9 books in the series, and this one is a whopping 277 pages long. Moments after hiring Samantha Darling as a therapist, Dr. Burns is murdered. Stunned by his sudden death and desperate to keep the job she just got, Sam vows to find the killer. She has 2 things going for her. The first is that her brother Rob is a cop, and she figures the crime-solving thing has to be genetic. The second is that Sam is a little bit psychic. So finding the culprit should be a snap for her. If only she could tell the difference between her psychic vibes and indigestion. With the help of her landlord and her dog, Sam sets out to solve the murder. Along the way, she spends time with a hot new guy in town and tries not to spend time with the old high school boyfriend who stood her up on prom night. Using her vibes, her wit, and her charm, Sam solves the mystery, but not before going in the complete wrong direction more than once. I know why I picked this up in 2014. There is a dog on the cover. From the silhouette of that dog, it's a Labrador. You know me, I love my dogs. And I generally always have a Labrador, so not surprising. It is available on Kindle Unlimited, so we shall see if I love it. And an even older book appears. Purchased this on the 18th of September, 2013. That would be Sleeping Murder, Miss Marple's Last Case, by Agatha Christie. This is a whopping 224 pages. This is a good reminder, Tammy, that Agatha is a good choice for fall. I'll read you the very slight blurb. And wow, I have forgotten how much Agatha books are overpriced on Kindle. As I'm looking at this, it is $14.49. But if you buy the paperback, it's $10.99. Publisher pricing on electronic books is out of control. Soon after Gwenda moved into her new home, odd things start to happen. Despite her best efforts to modernize the house, she only succeeded in dredging up its past. Worse, she felt an irrational sense of terror every time she climbed the stairs. In fear, Gwenda turned to Miss Marple to exorcise her ghosts. Between them, they were to solve a perfect crime committed many years before. Yeah. I think we have found an October choice for my pile of possibilities. Next up, purchased on the 25th of January, 2014. That would be The Ghost of Belfast by Stuart Neville. I have never read anything by this author, but I love the cover. It is the first book in the Belfast novel series. There are currently 6 books in the series. Excuse me. I will read you the blurb. It is 337 pages. Northern Ireland's troubles may be over, but peace has not erased the crimes of the past. Gary Fegan, a former paramilitary contract killer, is haunted by the ghosts of the 12 people he slaughtered. Every night, at the point of losing his mind, he drowns their screams in drink. But it's not enough. In order to appease the ghosts, Fegan is going to have to kill the men who gave him the orders. From the greedy politicians to the corrupt security forces, the street thugs to the complacent bystanders who let it happen, all are called to account. But when Fegan's vendetta threatens to derail a hard-won truce and destabilize the government, old comrades and enemies alike want him dead. I love this cover. I am very interested in this book. Obviously, I bought it more than a decade ago and forgot it was on my Kindle. That is the problem with owning electronic books. You buy them, you're interested when you buy them, and then you get distracted and you forget they're there. Thus this series. Next up is a recent purchase. The 29th of April of this year. It is The Butterfly Collector by T. Cooper. I love this cover. She has a lot of books that are very interesting and appealing to me. This one is 396 pages. This was on sale when I bought it. Undoubtedly, like most of the books on this list. It's the only one I know that I own by her. And if I like it, I will buy more. I am very interested. Very interested. I will tell you that off sale, this is another one to buy the physical copy, not the Kindle version. A botanical illustration of a butterfly, a missing baby, and a twisty mystery 50 years in the making. 1868 Morpeth. Theodora Breckenridge, still in mourning after the loss of her parents and her brother at sea, is more interested in working quietly on her art at the family's country estate than she is in finding a husband in Sydney society, even if her elder sister Florence has other ideas. Theodora seeks to emulate prestigious nature illustrations, the Scott sisters who live nearby. She cannot... That sentence is poorly constructed, by the way. She cannot believe her luck when she discovers a butterfly never before seen in Australia. With the help of her maid Claire, and her beautiful drawings, Theodora is posed to make a scientific discovery that will put her name on the map. When Clary's newborn son goes missing, and everything changes. 1922 Sydney. When would-be journalist Verity Binks is sent an anonymous parcel containing a spectacular butterfly costume, along with an invitation to Sydney's Arts Masquerade Ball, the same day she loses her job at the Arrow, she is both baffled and determined to attend. Her late grandfather Sid, an esteemed newspaperman, would expect no less of her. At the ball, she lands a juicy commission to write the history of the Treadwell Foundation, an institution that supports disgraced young women and their babies. As she begins to dig, her research quickly leads her to an increasingly dark and complex mystery. A mystery 50 years in the making. Can she solve it? And will anyone believe her if she does? I think this sounds so amazing. Butterflies, Australia, dual timeline, a mystery. It's right up my alley. And she has so many books that I need to read. I hope I love her writing. Okay. Last 2 or 3, I believe. Last 2. This was a May 2024 purchase. This is The Awakening of Miss Prim by Natalia Sanmartin Fenollera. This is 337 pages, and I love the cover of this book. I love the cover of this book. Okay. Prudencia Prim is a young woman of intelligence and achievement with a deep knowledge of literature and several letters after her name. When she accepts the post of private librarian to the village of San Marino de Orna. Wow, I cannot talk at this point. She is unprepared for what she encounters there. Her employer, a book-loving intellectual, is dashing yet contrarian, always ready with a critique of her cherished Jane Austen and Louisa May Alcott. The neighbors, too, are capable of charm and eccentricity in equal measure, determined as they are to preserve their singular little community from the modern world outside. Prudencia hoped for friendship in San Marino, but she didn't suspect that she might find love, nor that the course of her new life would run quite so rocky or would offer challenge and heartache as well as joy, discovery, and fireside debate. Set against the backdrop of steaming cups of tea, freshly baked cakes, and lovely company, The Awakening of Miss Prim is a distinctive and delightful entertaining tale of literature, philosophy, and the search for happiness. It is now available on Kindle Unlimited as well. It's one that definitely has my attention. Okay, I believe this is the last choice. Yes, this is the last choice. This is a May 2022 purchase. Again, it was on sale. That is The Royal Windsor Secret by Christine Wells. This would be the first book by the author for me. It is 351 pages. And here is the blurb. Could she be the secret daughter of the Prince of Wales? In this dazzling novel by the author of Sisters of the Resistance, a young woman seeks to discover the truth about her mysterious past. Cleo Davenport has heard the whispers, the murmured conversations that end abruptly the second she walks into a room. Told she is an orphan, she knows the rumor that her father is none other than the Prince of Wales, heir to the British throne, and that her childhood home at Cairo's Shepherd Hotel, where royals, rulers, and the wealthy live, they even called her the princess. But her life is turned upside down when she turns 17. Sent to London under the chaperonage of her very proper aunt, she's told it's time to learn manners and make her debut. But Cleo's life cannot be confined to a ballroom. She longs for independence and a career as a jewelry designer for Cartier. But she cannot move forward until she finds out about her past. Determined to unlock the truth, Cleo travels from London back to Cairo and then Paris, where her investigation takes a shocking turn into the world of the Parisian demi-monde and high-class courtesan whose scandalous affair with a young Prince of Wales, threatened to bring down the British monarchy long before anyone had heard of Wallis Simpson. I don't need to say more. I need to read this book. I very much need to read this book. Okay, so those are, I believe there were 15 in total, 15 hidden books on my Kindle. I apologize. It looks like the neighbor across the street has gotten a new puppy. For some reason, she's feeding said puppy outside on her front porch and is driving my dogs crazy. And to be honest, if I see her flash me her underwear one more time today, I'm going to have to cry. Okay, so now that was way more information than you wanted about my personal life at the moment. I'm very glad I did this. I'm going to continue to do this, even if nobody else watches these videos, because it reminds me of what is hidden on my Kindle. And there are far too many books hidden on my Kindle that I have not read. Far too many books on my Kindle I have not read. And in part, I think that's intentional. It is very hard to organize your Kindle. It is very difficult to categorize stuff. Even if you're on the web, Amazon intentionally does not make it easy. And the only reason I think people don't buy books repeatedly that interest them is because Amazon tells you, oh, you previously purchased this title. So, this series will continue. I hope you may have found something new, something that you didn't know existed. If any of these sound interesting to you, let me know. And when I read them, they'll show up in a weekly wrap-up. So, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.